Hi, my name is Kristen, and I am here with some of the cast of Ombis2. With me, I have Will Nemi,
Hi.
I have Emma Gillies, and Alexander McBryde.
How's it going?
And we're just going to go through some questions, have a conversation about Ombis2. Will, tell us a little bit about your character.
I play Obi, who was in the Horrific Evil Monsters, and he's an alien. In this film, he kind of comes to Earth because the bad guy messed up his planet, and kind of kept him prisoner. So he escapes and tries to come to Earth and help out the humans fight this guy. And he takes human form in this one as well, which is different than the Horrific Evil Monsters. And it kind of takes over Charlie, random guy on Earth. So he's he's human for some of the film, and then he's looks like himself, which is green.
So I play April, is a new character to the Ombis series. I get to show a bit about her past and how she's wound up where she is when she's interacting with Haley, and it's been really fun. Yeah.
Great. And Alex, your character actually is a returning character. Can you tell us about your role and how it's a little different from Ombis 1?
How's it a little different from Ombis 1? Let's see. I was more so in control of the situation 2 points in Ombis 1, and I'm not so control in Ombis 2. I have returned.
We know that Obi was a character created for the Horrific Evil Monsters,
Yes.
and he has taken a little bit different turn, a little bit darker character than he was in the Horrific Evil Monsters. How would you compare the character in the Horrific Evil Monsters versus Ombis 2?
I feel like, in the Horrific Evil Monsters is more a comedic turn on the character. I mean, he didn't get sarcasm or humor, but because of that, he was funny, because he wasn't trying to be. And this one, it's more of a serious take on the character, which this film does take place before the Horrific Evil Monsters. So, just a darker tone, honestly. Less punchlines, and it's more of his introduction, first time being on Earth versus, he was a part of a team and's been there. So yeah, it's definitely a different tone.
Which would you say you preferred to play? Did you like the more comedic version of Obi or the more serious, darker Obi?
That's that's a good question. I would say I'm more of a comedic person. I do like that. It was very fun to play him, but there's challenges to both. I think, and this film, it was a bit different because I was playing him as a human too, which was kind of cool too. So I don't know if I have a preference. Honestly, it was nice to be out of the prosthetics a bit more for this one, but I do like the comedic side. So toss up.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. Emma, tell us a little bit about the challenges that you faced during production and how you overcame them.
Well, something that specifically comes to mind is I had to break a skateboard over Danielle Smith, who plays Mrs. Kane. And I had a really hard time getting the skateboard to break, and she was so sweet about it and so kind about it. But it was a lot of hard work and a lot of figuring out how to move the prop and get it to break efficiently, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, and you actually had some of the most action sequences in the entire film. We actually have one of your props here.
Yeah.
The baseball bat. Tell us a little bit about the stunts and the action in the film that you were able to demonstrate.
Yeah, well, that was my first time ever doing stunts like that in a film, so it was an amazing experience, and it was something new to try, and everyone was very supportive, and it was really fun actually getting covered in alien goo and being able to fight off different monsters. It was a really fun experience.
Awesome. What was the slime? Tell us about the slime. What was the slime like?
It was pretty sticky. It was, by the end of the shoot, I was head to toe covered in it.
Anybody that's been at Ombis2 that's dealt with blood and slime can tell you they'd 100% rather be covered in fake blood than covered in slime.
Right, took a long shower after that.
Yep. Alex.
Me?
You.
What's going on?
What drives you in acting?
Well, it's like this. When I was a little kid, like most little kids, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I was like, did I want to be a policeman? Did I want to be a firefighter? Did I want to be a doctor? Did I want to be a scientist? Did I want to be an inventor? Did I want to be a superhero? Or did I want to be a detective? And all the things I pretended as a little kid. So I remember I was over my grandma's house one time it was me, my mom, and my grandma, and we were watching a movie. And I turned around to ask them a question, and when I saw the looks on their faces, because they were just like in the movie, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to make people feel like that. So when I told my mom and my grandma that I wanted to act, they were like, well, if you want to learn how to act, you can't just be like a one-trick pony. You got to like have some skills. So I'm like, so what do I got to do? So I learned how to tell jokes and improv and sing and dance, and pretty much all the things that would make you like a talented old school actor, but it just makes you way too talented to be in the area that you're in, because nobody cares about all those things. Like, you got skills? You're more than just your pretty face. You have a range. But yeah, I just enjoy entertaining people, so yeah.
So you got to play the role of everything that you wanted to be.
Yes, because in order to act, acting is pretending. And in order to fully encompass that, you have to learn about that role. So acting is like the greatest thing that I could do, because it really allows me to be everything that I wanted to be growing up as a little kid.
Absolutely. And Will, I think you said something similar when we were on set too, that you love to be in the world of make-believe.
I do. I like to play, and I think we're pressured to grow up, in this world. So it's fun to, as an actor, I still get to play pretend, and to look at things through like a childlike wonder, like through a child's eyes. Like people lose that, like their
Spark.
Imaginations, and we still get to play, and have that as an actor, and to do that for people and bring joy to them. I mean, what's better than that?
Tell us about your wardrobe.
It is different from the first one. I want to say, what is it? Like what's a gi? Is that it? A gi, karate?
It's a feudal Japanish, like
like samurai wardrobe.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pimp. I kept mine.
Yeah, he's got his. Yeah, because you had one too. Yours red.
Yeah,
I kind of have like this samurai outfit and pants. And then Charlie, he's kind of more your basic modern, person, guy.
Modern human.
Yeah, jeans and such. But it was definitely different than the first one, for sure, which was more like a college professor.
Absolutely. Alex, how do you feel like the wardrobe fits into the theme of the film?
Whereas with the first film, I was basically I was a government agent, a spoof. So it's like basically your general man in black.
Man in black.
So it was very in that realm, very official, very like by the book, very OCD, very there. And then even though towards the end of the first one there was a shift in his character, it was still that kind of like in there. And then with the wardrobe here, again, with it being that I don't know why the aliens was like, you're all gonna wear like feudal Japan style outfits, but like they're comfortable. I enjoyed the movement. The martial artist in me was just like, oh yeah, I'm in this all day. You just I don't know, you it's like you put it on and you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense, and it fits with the theme of the film.
Yeah.
So, Emma, compared to most of your co-stars, you're pretty early on in your acting career.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what your goals are in acting. Where do you see yourself? What would you like to do?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm not quite into the adult life just yet, but I hope to continue acting in my future. I'm currently working to create content with my acting studio and developing, like, writing more and, just developing and dabbling in every different creative area so I can discover what I really want to do with all this, like, once I get older.
Great. Great. And I wish you the best of luck in your career, and you have a very bright future ahead of you.
Thank you.
And a lot of time to develop those skills and achieve anything that you're looking to do in acting. And Buffalo lately has been the place to be for that.
Agreed.
You know,
Us too.
Well, it's
Yeah,
weird
we're
'cause
very early on as well.
I wish I was early on.
Back in my day.
Back in the day when I started way back, actually, in
This is all the orange groves.
back in 2007, man, let me tell you, the independent film scene in Buffalo was much different, Sonny.
but it has been, because you
Yeah, it
brought up a
has.
good point, because, I mean, the acting scene in Buffalo has evolved and changed so much.
It has.
You know, since you entered acting,
It
you know,
did.
what it was like getting roles and auditioning and, you know, acting in 2010 when you first started.
2010. Everybody was still finding their footing. You had a lot of horror movies. You had like a lot of thrillers. You had like a lot of weird gangster movies and things like that. I always like special effects and things of that nature. So that's why in the early days I was basically Sean back in the day. I was the creature guy. Those were my roles. And then I left for a little bit to do some stuff, and I came back. And I started acting again. I was like, I'll go for the creature roles. And it was like, you can't be the creature. And I'm like, why can't I be the creature? Like, we can't put makeup on that face. I was like, you realize that's how I started, It's like I created the creature for so long that like I would go to auditions and I'll be all set to like read like this character, and they'll see me like, oh, Alex, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, are you gonna be in this? I'm like, yeah, we already have a role for you. I'm like, oh, word, you guys, I want to read for this. What do you guys like? Here it is, and it's like Subhuman 74. I got fly through there and punch them in the face, don't I? Okay, all right. But now it's just. There's a lot of new people have come. A lot of new directors and creative talents have just sprang up over the years, and everybody's just wanting to try so many different things. And then the formats have changed since then. We went from like tape to like digital sets to like we filmed a lot of we did digital, a lot of digital stuff. Yeah, like this was my first time working in this format for an extended time.
Right.
And I liked it, because like I've done different types of acting, so it was like theater. It was like greenish blue box theater. Right?
Yeah, no, it is like a black box theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you really have to tap into that creativity, because I know Emma and Will, both of you had separate scenes where you had to simulate being in a car.
Oh yeah.
On a blue screen.
Yes.
How is it to I mean, acting is in a world of make-believe, but that is a world of make-believe completely different. I mean, how do you pretend like you're in a vehicle? And that's a question for either one of you, both of you.
Oh, please.
After you.
You're the newest one. Like, let us know what it feels like to you.
I mean, it was a lot of just like living in that moment and like imagining, as they were saying earlier. Like, you can't always, you can't see the car right in front of you. You have to like know your boundaries, and if I move my hand this far out, oh, am I still in the car or am I out of the car? So it's a lot of spatial awareness, as well as just like imagining and like knowing where you are and like being present in your character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Will, you were driving the vehicle.
I was driving, and I forget what they handed me for a wheel. It was like a frisbee or something. I don't remember, but yeah, it's definitely more challenging for sure. I mean, to play that, we're already playing pretend, but to imagine certain things, like, it's definitely a challenge. Or you see on behind the scenes on big movie sets where they have like a tennis ball, and you're like, this is a creature, and to tap into that emotional response versus like what you're seeing versus what the audience is going to see. Yeah. Right. It pushes you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, okay, so what's my eye line? It's there. And it's like, okay, it's like Emma was saying, it's like, how far can I move forward? I got this much playroom. How far can I move back? Right. I have this much room. Okay, if I move my arm here, can you still see it? Like, how much of me is in frame? How much is me? let me know where I have to be so I don't mess up this shot.
Right.
From
Right.
from a technical standpoint too,
Yeah.
more challenge for.
And then you get in there, and it's like, okay, so I'm in there, so I know where my boundaries are. It's like, now I have to imagine this world that I'm interacting with, and I'm hoping that the world that I'm seeing in my head is what the director is seeing, that they're projecting, because I'm projecting something, and I'm hoping my projection matches what they're seeing. So
And you don't even know how it's gonna
Play.
play. One, two, like if you're on, you're in a car, you feel the car, you know what it's gonna look like, versus like, what's this gonna turn out to be? Like it's we're in a hospital room, but you can picture it, but
Right. Are my movements going to translate to,
yeah,
to what
and
you're
what is
adding
it,
into
what-
the scene, CGI?
what's going to be behind me,
Right.
and what is so you're just
it's crazy.
it's definitely a different
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah.
But
Different
it's
feeling.
so awesome
Yeah.
because it expands, because you're so used to going on locations back in the day, or even
Right.
and then to be able to be in this place where it's like, okay, you're not in the physical location, but you're building it and you're planning in that world, and you can expand on it.
Yeah.
But physical locations help. Physical locations help
It
a lot.
very much does. I do like to actually drive the car.
But digitally, it just gives you so much more of an expansion, and that's part of the changes in the way things are getting made nowadays. We are going more digital and more expansive, So
Create a world that we can't create on set, or create a completely different world.
it would cost way too much money. That's why I'm studying animation.
Exactly. Well, thank all three of you,
Yeah,
for being here.
of
I
course.
appreciate
Thank
it. Any last words?
Watch Ombis2.